Chapter 6 Contractor Logistics Support 6.1 General Terminology Definition. Organic is a list of logistics supported by performed by the military department under the military control using government-owned controlled facility, tools, tests, equipment, spares, repair parts, military civilian personnel. It is considered organic support logistic support provided by one military service to another coordinate considered organic within the DoD. Contract logistics support of any material performed under the contract of commercial organization, including organic original manufacturing, is considered CLS or contracted logistics support. Support provided by may include material facility as well as services as following: supply, distribution, maintenance, training, software support, rebuilding, overhaul, modification, system support. CLS contract logistics policy 1. Technical data. Government access to the technical data will be acquired to the permanent competitive procurement of the contract logistics support of whenever feasible, affordable. MatDev is a material MatDev is a coordinating material command is responsible for centralized contract support management, including program, budget, contract negotiation, awarding, and administrating. 3. Should be developing a route assisting assignment to contract support personnel is not required to the battlefield. If not, as possible requirement for the contact support personnel as battlefield must be minimized while justified accordance with AR 715-9 contractor support integrated with the defense logistics chain and defensive standards. 5. Requirements continuation contractor support of wartime scenarios contingent operation will be assured inclusion of wartime contingent because of the support contact. The contractors must ensure the seamless and transportation transit from Intgr and deployment deployment support. 6.2 Application of contract logistics support. Contractor logistics support is performed in planned inter-term contact support (ICS), planned in the life cycle contractor support (LCSC). Interim contract support is used in commercial support in a resource in lieu of organic capability. Predetermined amount of goal is used not exceeded for 3 years. This includes the use of contractor support of the initial fielding. Life cycle contractor support is method providing all parts of the system logistics support of contract initiation, continuing support of life cycle. The limit life cycle contract support differs from the interim contract support that it supports in concept rather than acquisition technique. The normal interim contract support is paid for the procurement funds of the life cycle contract support is paid for operational maintenance Army and funds. 6.3 The planning. The Army of the acquiring the contractor logistics support of the contract when the contractor logistics support is cost effective and when its coverage is be tailored to meet intended conditions of geographical location, storage of an item, and any combination. Developers will identify desired performance characteristics which measure as a part of the system. The PBL strategy. The performance characteristics should be included desired in the levels of contractor logistics integration to be addressed as a part of the PBL business analysis. Army combat material developer minimize burden assessment, sustainment complexity as well as sustainment the footprint for the unit of the field maintenance organizational limitation, limiting using contractor maintenance of field equipment maintenance maintained by the soldiers. Each supportability and field environment must be paramount. The decision of the contractor logistic will be based on use upon analysis trade-off alternative support concept that where performed a yearly development support system analysis process rather than to the limit reduced levels of integrated logistics support. After phase of acquisition, the support analysis must show the contracting logistics support its optimum strategy must among the alternatives provide required support of the peacetime wartime scenarios if most cost effective method for increasing clearly government's best interest. See the contract logistics support decision was based on evaluation of wartime operational readiness, supportability, to compliance with Title 10 U.S. Standard Code 2464 related statutory laws. 3. Need the nation of peacetime training relational rotational basis from military technical personnel manpower requirement data. 4. Sectional security implementations. 5. Cost effectiveness effective TBS TMDE access to technical data suitable complete competitive procurement under contract organic structure of 8. Availability repair costs required maintain stock levels of most meet readiness requirements. 9. Time frame fielding system. 10. Warranties under the acquisition contract. 11. Spare part pricing. 12. Commercial activity programs. 13. Sensing and equipment geographical dispersion. 14. Training costs. 15. Personal skill required availability. 16. Force structure. 17. Maintenance levels utilized. 18. Contractors accompanying the force may be employed in the area that operations is required or to support U.S. Army operations and or weapons systems. Generally, contractors will be assigned duties of echelons above brigade if the senior military commander determines the civilian contractor services required to the lower echelons. They will be temporarily deployed as far forward as needed and consistent with the terms of contract tactical situations. See AR 750-1, AR 715-9, and 19 administrative and support workload, 20 design stability, 21 risk of a commercial military options, 22 availability. Contractors support the system over its expected life at all proposing locations, including mobilization consideration. 23 operational readiness, float, repair, recycle, float. 24 availability of technology, technological complexity of system. D, LCC consideration will be based on readiness, availability requirements of the LCC, support risk, design, maturity, plan, useful life, material systems, complex availability, manpower, personnel, other acquisition support issues, wartime mission deployment requirements of the primary consideration of which the risk are based in ICSs, which consider the desired military support capability cannot be fully provided first unit of equipment based on a time acquisition program constraint, as in shown below. ICS should be used in only the length of the time before the supportability strategies. One plans of justification of ICS and identifying documentation supportable strategy and decision memorandum coordination with the milestone. B, the interim contractor contractor service. Anyways, when the program issued constraints that require use of the ICS arising the milestone. B, the interlogistics support manager will be necessary documentation coordinate with required actions as soon as possible. All plans of coordinated interim coordination service must be completed before milestone. C, of the decision to allow the necessary budgetary lead times. ICS consideration will not cause reduction of levels of ILS efforts in any phase of material acquisition. Priority of efforts will be directed toward the meeting of required support for system deployment. 3. ICS planning will include the milestone for transition, organic supports, applicability, contingency, operational, hostile, environmental, will define administration fund, procedure, transmission, plans, and milestones, documentation, and supportable strategy. The ICS contract identifying minimum data provided in government and by the contract, such as the defective nonconformity, task frequency, part usage, repair times of each maintenance level, main units, maintenance events, and engineering changes, skill training is needed, establish measuring criteria, monitoring contract activities, ensuring compliance. 5. They requires of extending ICSs beyond approval. Transmission data will be forwarded MAT Dev through Material Command of DSA and Integrated Logistics Support after gaining condition of ACOM, Army National Reserve, National Guard, RC, ASCC, and DRU, and CBT. DEV documentation justification for extension of revised milestones, transition impact, additional funding requirements, appropriation, coordination, and concurrence and non-concurrence. After the decision to employ CSL for limited ICS throughout the life system of cycle, the LCC impact of the logistic footprint of the battle space of the Army force structure. The management of the logistics presents in battle space as anticipated changes in armed forces structure that dictates qualifying CLS maintenance manpower requirements same manner as soldier mechanic requirements. Anticipated CLS maintenance power, contractor logistics support maintenance manpower requirements expressed in directed productivity annual maintenance man hours documentation by the bio PFD. 2. Appropriate level of maintenance correlated to the soldier. The MOS DLS displacement data must be updated by the US BOI PFD process anytime the contractor logistics support maintenance requirement changes. 6.4 funding and consideration. Contractor logistics support requires building a new entity item in which to achieve the existing appropriation guideline using the same accounts that would be charged if the work performed organically by the Army elements normally involved in fielding activity. Appropriation requests the supporting such activity structure approved based on the nature of different functions performed on, not on the basis of whom performed the work. B, the manager of each item being the responsible program, budgeting, funding, and CL contractor logistics support requirements pertaining to thereto during the period in which the item remains of his or her management. In the event supported by the same contract. Each entity manager will be responsible for the program budgeting and accounting for those dollars. The resources associated with the contractor logistics reporting pertaining to his or her any item as feasible. Multiple contractor logistics support efforts consolidated into one contract. The dollar resources required to funding specific funding sources efforts performing under contract reflected applicable command operating budgets, monthly, annual accounting, manual manpower reports. The reporting level indications shown on Army Management Structure and the Army Management Structure Code. 6.5 Contractor Logistics Supportive Table Distribution Allowances Unit Training System. Contractor Logistics Support is preferred to concept supporting TDA unit training systems. Army and in-depth analysis using factored paragraph 6.3 being while conducting CLS in most effective concept. And all training system authorizes the common table allowance of the motto will acquired was supported under the policies of IR 750-1 and contractor listings shown. Contractor listings is shown. Contractor logistics shown is shown as the Army organic will be limited to operating maintenance using the TDA and MOTO activities. The support concept decision will be made as early as possible during the requirements documentation staffing process. Will be reflected improvement documents supported in concept was developed based on an analysis of alternatives available, performance trade-off analysis, optimism, selected approach to temp supportability strategy, system program management documentation will be used to describe the actions provided by the CLS applicability. 6.6 Contractor constraints. The Army contractor constraints mandates the program be operational, executional, non-infringement commander's ability to execute mission, comply the Army policy contractors accompanying to the force of the AR 715-9, maintaining total assessment visibility tab and total assessment including supporting equipment spares and providing tab and Army intern transit visibility network, ensuring contractors feed the Army in transit visibility servers in the data in required format. Complied DoD Defensive Transportation System. DoD Transportation Hubs practices will be means of more performance requirements. DoD Transportation Standards requirement system is recommended by the DCS, Garrison 4 through DSAA. Interlogistics will be notified of an intent different distribution prior to the decision. U.S. Standard Army Logistics Information System, formerly known as Army Standard Army Management Information System, STAMIS. These include Standard Army Maintenance Systems, Enhanced SAMS Unit Level Logistics System, Aviation Enterprise ULSAE, Standard Army Retail Supply System, Objective SRSOs, and the Property Book Unit Supply Enhancement BOOS, Transportation Coordination of United Automated Information Movement Systems, TCAMS, Transmission Seamless Global Combat Support, Army GCSSA, and when accepted interface completing single Army Logistic Enterprise sale as developing business process operational architectural level, be capable of emerging doctrines sustaining operational such as two-level maintenance. And that is the book, my friends, of AR 700-127, 27th September 2007. Appendix references are such as AR 701, Army Acquisition Policy, a manprint, a contractor accompanying any of the forces Army Material Maintenance Program, Maintenance Policy, DoD 5001, the other 5000.1 Defensive Acquisition System, DoDI 5000.2. Related publications are Management Control, Cost Economic Analysis, Army Knowledge Information Technology, Army Publishing Program, Policy Procedure, Acquisition, Medical Material, Medical Logistics, Survivability, Army Personnel Material, Force Development, Documentation, Consolidated Policies, Test and Evaluation Policies, Environmental Protection and Analysis, and Transportation Training Devices, Policy Management, Army Military Construction, Non-Appropriated Funding, Construction Development and Execution, Army Industrial Base Processes, Hazardous Material Information Resources, Material Release, Fielding, Transportation Supply Chains, Army Testing Measurement Diagnostic, Integrated Supports Program Assessment, Issuing, DPAMs, issuing and criteria, logistics support planning procedure, Army acquisition, instruction, material release, fielding, transportation, DAG, defensive acquisition book, the defensive acquisition guidebook, AK, ss.dau.mil-dag, designing and assigning supportability, DoD weapon systems that guided increase for reliability, reduce the logistic footprint, dated October 24th, October 3rd, 2003. DFAS financial accounting policy, economical analysis and decision making, cost analysis procedure guidelines, DoD achieving the reliability, availability, maintenance, DoD template application TLCM, BABL, weapons system lifecycle, military handbook 1470, designing, developing, maintainable product systems, acquisition, logistics, work breakdown, structure, defensive materials, logistic management, information, office management, budget, OSDA, TL, total life cycle system management, metrics, 32 CFR, National Defense Environmental Analysis, Army Actions, US 10 U.S. Standard Code, contractor performance, acquisition closely associated with an area government function, operational test evaluation, defensive acquisition program, defensive WEPO, maintenance repairs, GPO access.gov, U.S. Code, U.S. Standard Code 24 and 2461, a commercial industrial typical type functions and required studies report to before conversion confirmed performance 10 United States Code core logistic capabilities 10 United States Code 2466 performance limitation of performance civilian commercial industrial and type of functions 10 United States Code 2469 contractors perform workloads previous perform depot level activities Department of Defense requirement competitions 10 United States Code 2474 Center of Industrial Intelligence and Excellences in Public-Private Partnerships GPO Access.gov U.S. Standard Code Section 3 Prescribed Forms Section contains no entries Section 4 Reference Form DA Forms Army Publishing Directorate of the APD.Army.mil DA Form 11-2-3 Management Control Evaluation Criteria Statement Recommendations Changes in Publications Appendix B key PBL milestone decision point implementation checklist and implementation checklist. I'll print these out later. Alright, no. And what we got in Appendix C management control evaluation integrated logistics support program function purposes instruction test questions. Suppressions and comments and a glossary.